Hey guys, and welcome back to another YouTube video. In this video we're going through my round review for round 5, in which I scored a 17.22, round rank of 22.98. Just another horrific round, which I copped another injury because, why not cop another injury, it seems like, this week. I just copped the, who was it again? The Carney injury alongside Campbell going back into the forward line, which didn't help, and Dersma not having the best round. So in the end, I burnt, 78 points, plus another 43, I think, in the captaincies. That's another, 121, plus also the Sheeran versus, if we just go here, how many did Sheeran score? She scored 156, so that's another 90. So I burnt probably about 210 points in general. 210 points, which would put me at 1930, which I'm pretty sure if I just go quickly for the last week, someone did score a 25-31. They must have gone all doubles. Yeah, they probably did go all doubles, something like that, which is kind of crazy to have a 2500. But most of the top teams went pretty big that round. And so some of the teams in the end scored 2,000 or so points, and I burned another 13, so I'm already still another about 1,000 off the lead, which I could honestly be about 500 points off the lead if I didn't have so many stuff ups in terms of my bench and stuff like that. I seem to be stuffing up one each week with my bench, but anyway, let's just jump into this video here. As you see, yes, that is working. You see here, Carney, I brought her in 66, Sheeran scored 156. That's just a big difference there. And Carney injured, she lost 250 odd K, 270K, which, that pretty much puts me, again, just another injury. I mean, it's now honestly a post each and every week being like, who out of these three girls is going to get injured? Because that is basically what's happening at the moment. And it sucks. 66 from her, she just did a hamstring first kick of the game or whatever, and so she only scored 2 points. She even air swung. She didn't even get the points for the kick, she just air swung the kick, so 66 for her across the 2 games, which kind of sucks in general. And we'll just see, she won't obviously be playing this week, I don't think. Goldrick 70, she did her job against, who was it in the end? She did her job against Essendon. She was on about 50 odd at half time, so for her to get to 70 is a little bit disappointing, but she's been one of the better defenders anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Daisy Darcy, 75. She beat Webster by 19 points, which is a good thing, so hopefully she can do her job again. Thomas, 63. She did her job, I guess, and in against GWS, in which they won pretty convincingly, and GWS, I think, kicked 4 behind, so she didn't have much work to do, but comes up against Port Adelaide. They're probably almost favoured to beat Port Adelaide at this point with the way that they're running. So, she probably will do pretty well there. Not as well there, but 60 to 70 points from her should be all right. She's averaging 67, which if we look at the defenders, 67 is still in the top sort of 10 or so range, which isn't the worst. And even there, you've got, Steen had a game against GWS. She'll float down anyway. McAvoy's having a couple of good games there, a couple of bad games there, so she'll probably fail in the double knowing that. Newman as well. So you sort of see here that you've got a big clump around that 70 range anyway. Newton could be a good one in a couple of weeks' time, given that she's got that role. But anyway, I digress. With Watson as well, she had a really bad round 1, wasn't it? And then last 3 weeks, she's actually been really, really good. 77 last 3 weeks, even with 50 involved in there. Plays Adelaide. I expect her to do pretty well this week, just because I expect Adelaide to belt the hell out of St Kilda. So, I expect her to get probably 6 or 7 kickouts, which 6 or 7 kickouts is absolutely huge for her. That's a free 20-odd points, basically. And then Finn, 26, she really just had a shocking double. Lost 105k, and she's, I think, still on my side, given my trades. Marinoff, 135, she lost 100k off the 135, which just shows how volatile it is. And just how unlucky I've sort of been with my team value, I guess, in the way that I've lost. I think if you look at it, Carney, 270k. I think Davey was about 160k, so that's about 430k. And Too Good, we all copped for about, 300k. So I've lost off just 3 girls, about, something like 700k or so, 730, 750k in team value. Just it basically has meant that these upgrades are basically almost Dana Finn type of Dana Finn sitting there at Dana Finn sitting there rather than someone else. So I basically stuffed myself over in that respect there with that, but it is what it is in the end. And my team isn't the worst, I would say, but it's not the greatest. I just need to probably fix Campbell next week if she's going to play that role, because that was a horrific role to jump into. But anyway, we move on. So Marinoff 100k lost. Rowbottom as well, 178k lost. But she's got her double this week. It was her lowest couple games in a row of 94, 93, and she's got Hawthorn in the double. So Hawthorn and Essen, so I'm expecting big things. Conti as well, somehow 110k up in the double, which was good, as you see there. Still lost money on the season, but yeah, she's not the worst, and she was the better, I think, best double game week player for the week, which was pretty good. Gabby Pound, 167, was absolutely huge, actually. So she was actually the better defender to go for in the end, as she's done pretty well in the last couple games. But yeah, it was Riddell, Shearer. So Shearer was actually the midfielder to go for in the end, as she gained 109k over Gearing, who went up 42k. So yeah, it actually was Shearer to go for rather than all that. But yeah, to think at the start of the year that Garner would be outscored by Shearer, Conti, and Riddell is quite ridiculous to think. Goering, I just went for it with Conti scoring 88 in the first game. I was just like, if Goering can get off to like a 110 or something like that in the first game, then she'll do well. But she scored 89 and 91. 88 and 91, so she really lost out points in the end. Conti had a really good second game of the game week. Goody, she did her job, basically outscored any of the single game week players that were there, especially all the top mids. If we just look at this quickly, if we go here and go to, all prices, we go to the 900k plus range. You had obviously the all the other doubles, but yeah, as you see here, Hurley 90, 97, then you had all these 1+ mil players. If we go to midfielders, that should help clear it out. But you can see pretty much only Maddie Prisparkis and Gardner outscored her in the single game week. Lucy Single did pretty well, but and Ella Roberts tied her. But most of the girls here, you can see, even if they had a really good game week, they still were outscored by Goody, who across 2 games did pretty well. Ramos, and then you have O'Dowd, 78. She's just doing her job, and she comes up against Melbourne, which could actually be interesting, given that I don't think Campbell is the most hit-out ruckman-based ruckman. If you go here, you look at this, mostly 20 hit-outs. So if that is a stoppage game, I actually expect O'Dowd to do really well. Not the biggest tackler, which is a little bit of a worry, but does get some marks there. But yeah, 20-odd hit-outs per game, pretty much. So yeah, she should do well. Even with Fleur Davies in there, her scoring was negligible difference-wise, and her time on ground was sort of around the market anyway. So yeah, she's done her job. Hartle, 15, she just sucked. As simple as that. Can't get on the field, 51% time on ground. Against Carlton, she should hopefully get a little bit more time on ground, given that Carlton aren't the greatest this year. So hopefully she does that. Hall with a 57, but I mean, it's negligible what she does, basically, as she's the only... everyone has her at this point. Randall, 93, she did really, really well. She's been one of the better pickups that I've had this year. Didn't get injured when I picked her up. I think she scored a 66, then a 79, then a 93. Had, I think, 2 or 3 marks, late pack marks, that really just generated some score for her. Tripodi across the 2 games scored a 140. Absolutely huge from her. Grace Campbell, 17. She's back to that forward role, which absolutely sucks. And yeah, she just had an all-time shocker, given that in that forward role, even in the past, here you can see she was scoring at 48, 60. So hopefully they put her back on ball to a certain degree, and then she'll be back better, because, man, that was pretty bad in general. And then Yaz Dersma, a 53 across the 2 games. Hopefully she can generate some cash, as she even lost cash across those 2 games with 53. And then Huntington, 95 left on the bench, was pretty disappointing, and Smith isn't playing. So yeah, hopefully I can get just back to getting some more points on field, I guess, would be helpful. It'll be a pretty easy captaincy choice this week of Rowbottom. And yeah, so in the end, I think I'm just copying injury after injury doesn't help. Obviously, losing a lot of value doesn't help. As I would have been able to easily probably just go, if I didn't cop the Carney injury, I would have just gone probably Goody, Ramos, and Finn to up to someone as well, as that would have been enough there. That would have been probably up to maybe a Prasparkas in itself, as well as a couple of rookies, I guess, there, and that would have been what I probably did, or probably upgraded Campbell as well there as well. But yeah, in the end, it probably doesn't matter as much, and it is what it is. But that is the video there, going through my round 5 team, which did a pretty horrific job, but it is what it is in the end, as I keep on saying, and we move on. And hopefully this week we don't cop an injury, as if we cop another injury, that would be 6 for 6. I think injury-wise, and put me up to 8 injuries for the year for fantasy, which is almost on the same amount of injuries as I've had in the AFL fantasy season, just in a shortened AFLW fantasy season. Is quite ridiculous. But anyway, I guess I'll see you guys in the next video. But if you did enjoy that, and you do enjoy me copying injuries week in, week out, remember to like and subscribe and turn the notification bell on so you can see the next injury that I do cop in the end. So I guess probably just stick away from the team that I reveal on Tuesday morning. Stick away from those players that I trade in, because one is bound to get injured. But I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.